Very often, a lot of artists identify themselves with I'm an artist and I paint and I'm a sculptor and I build so and so. But I think I kind of didn't like the idea of being boxed into that. I think it was more about I create art or I create visuals. What are the options of my mediums that I can put this onto? So instead of restricting myself to just a canvas or any such, I think I wanted to change that box that was being bracketed into let's put my art onto pretty much every medium that's possible. And then whether it was fabric, whether it was fashion, whether it was just, digital mediums, packaging design, canvas, painting, all of it. So it was just about extending the viewership of what I do from just a gallery box space to kind of democratize that in a way and also broaden my viewership and just have all the effort that I put into making art be visible to more people and accessible to more people as well. So I think some of those influences come from like a long time back when I think Andy Warhol kind of influenced a lot of my thought process, wherein he kind of tried to break the elitist mold of art or just to kind of make art more accessible. He kind of challenged the system in a way. So I think there are a lot of pop culture references in general in my work, but at the end of the day, we're still rooted in being Indian. So, you can't take that away. You can, as however much you travel, those roots don't leave you, right? So I feel like it was just fusion of both these. I studied abroad. So I feel like, again, there were those influences. I worked with a lot of Japanese, professors back in design school. So there were Southeast Asian influences in my work. Growing up, really admiring, well, I don't know if admiring, but kind of being fascinated or drawn to something about Warhol's works. And just the general storytelling in India about, when you grow up with your grandmother and you hear all these mythology stories, which are very fantastical and surreal in their own way. And then you kind of grow up and you read about Dali and you read about surrealism and you understand your own mythology in a very different context. So when you kind of combine all these stories and they all influence you in ways that you don't realize, it's very subconscious. It's not that you're consciously seeking these out, but we're all eventually a sum of our experiences. And I think my art is kind of that as well. I think all the mediums sort of have a certain purpose as well, and they all go into certain spaces. I have a design agency and I do packaging design and I do branding. So I understand I'm designing that for a certain audience, for a certain purpose that is not solely to be art or to be pretty or to be aesthetic or to be conceptual, but to have a larger impact for the brand I created for. But when I create a painting, sometimes it's more personal, it's more emotional. So I think it's also understanding the purpose for which I'm creating that defines the medium I'll put my idea or vision onto. When I create fashion, I'm not really thinking of fashion, but I'm thinking of it as an extension of my artwork onto a new medium, wherein if somebody wears my artwork, they're now walking art galleries of my work. So I think it's just about changing the perspective of all the art that you create and where and when to put it on. I think it's just based on what you want to accomplish from that. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the street art project that Start does, right? They're bringing some of the best artists in the world to create community projects where they're taking art and putting it onto larger than life canvases. They're raising awareness, conversations, and changing how the landscape of art in a certain way, right? I was very fortunate to be a part of one of their projects, and just the interactions from being there for the duration that you are painting physically on those buildings in the localities, especially that they choose, where it's centered around upliftment and just like awareness largely. That just shows that there is a spotlight on this now. Again, it's change of medium. It's taking contemporary artists that typically might be showing in gallery spaces, but bringing their work by changing the medium onto these larger canvases and having bigger conversations by just bringing it into public spaces. So that's one way to do it, and I think they're doing a great job of it. So I think there's a lot of people doing things now with that. Again, there's technology that's come into play as well. That's through social media, through just the new mediums of art as well are coming together. And I think gradually all of these are kind of building blocks to the shift in narrative of contemporary art as well.